Welcome to Meeting of the Moms, a place to talk about all the things. I'm Amy Rasmussen. I'm a teacher by profession, a wife and mother by choice, an optimist by nature, and happy by design. I'm here with my good friend Lorna, who I call one of my greatest cheerleaders.
Hi, I'm Lorna Adams. I'm a wife, mom, and certified life coach. I strive to embrace and enjoy each new phase of life. Here at Moms, we believe the world is wide open to all of us and that we have unlimited potential. We're so glad you're here.
Hey everybody! I had this idea this morning and I shot a text off to Lorna and said, what if for the next 6 days we get on real quick, we record some celebrations and gratitudes, and then we put it all together for you and you get to listen to that the day before Thanksgiving. So we're going to be a little crazy and a little different, and we're going to give that a try. And it's easy for me to start because I'm going to celebrate that I shared the idea with Lorna. And I am so grateful that Lorna is like, that sounds fun. Yay, let's do it. Because I'm not always necessarily like that. Sometimes I am. But it is a feature of Lorna that I love. That she's like, I'm up for it. Sounds fun. Let's do it. So that is where I'm going to begin. And I probably have a few more. But tell me, Lorna, what do you have to celebrate?
Well, thank you. That makes my eyes water a little bit. My gratitude today is I am so grateful for this friend that I have giving me a jacket. This friend ordered a few jackets. She's both of our really good friends. I work out with her sometimes at the gym. And a couple years ago, she had ordered a few different jackets to do for workouts. So when she got a few, she found sizes she liked and didn't like and asked if I wanted one that fits me and doesn't fit her.
Okay.
And so I had it. I've had it for a few years. I love it. I use it all the time. Winter, summer, it is my go-to jacket for workouts. And
I think you've told me about this jacket. Okay, yes, I have heard of this jacket before. Continue.
But I love it. It is so great to me. It's just a black little thin hoodie. It's just the right texture, size, all of it. I love it. Anyway, I realized this fall that I lost it. Somehow I lost it between summer when I haven't needed to use it much and now. And I had told my friend this just a little while ago, and she was like, tell me what size it was. I was just asking her for details about what the jacket, where she'd gotten the jacket,
right,
what the fabric was, because I love it. Anyway, she was like, remind me what size you had and whatever. So I tell her, she totally gives me, she had another jacket that same size that she had kept from that order.
Oh my gosh.
She gave it to me. So I am so grateful she was willing to give me another jacket. She's giving me now, and I love them.
Well, and it sounds like she had it on hand, like somehow in the process of all the purchasing or whatever, she had it, and that is awesome. I love that. And yes. I think I know who you're talking about. Yes. And I just love that about her. I think the same friend sent me a pen one time that has became my favorite pen. So that is fantastic.
Yeah,
I love it.
Super fun.
I love
super
it.
fun. Well, with that though, I'm going to pair it with some celebrations. I am celebrating that I didn't beat myself up for losing a jacket.
Yes, nice.
Yes, I was disappointed, but I was really kind with myself and like, yeah, sometimes that happens. Like, I don't know where it is. And then even the fact that I did reach out because I knew I wanted that type of jacket again, like good job. I reached out to find out details. But then I'm so grateful she shared another jacket.
Right. Well, and even just that you reached out knowing that she's the one who gave it to you, and you didn't decide to go into a pit of like, oh, I lost the jacket she gave me and now I'm asking her about it. So that is fantastic. Good job. Good job. Yeah. So you up for me to tell you another celebration?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So I'm headed out today with my 16-year-old son and 3 of his friends. I'm taking them to Mesa, Arizona for NXR, which is a cross-country race. So I'm celebrating that. In talking to my son months ago, he was like, I'd like to go. I'd like to organize something if someone else isn't. No one else was. I'm like, I'm willing to organize and do that. So I'm celebrating that I took that on. And then I'm also celebrating that I had this idea to put together a little bit of a road trip playlist. So I put together a few songs that I can play that I think are fun. But then my intent is to have some of the boys be like, well, I want to listen to this song, and we'll just add it. And so I'll have this like NXR playlist. They'll be like, those are the songs people brought up to watch or to listen to. And I thought I might even add, there's like a dry bar comedy guy that my son and I think is super funny, so we might show him that, and so that would go on the playlist. And so it's going to be like a memory reel at the same time that we're using it. And I'm like, well, that is a fantastic idea. So I'm super excited about my own fantastic idea. that I'm celebrating. And then I'm grateful for these boys. I mean, they're really great boys, so I'm not like concerned about anything on the trip as far as them being respectful or doing what they need to do or anything. So I'm grateful for that too. That's awesome.
I'm just going to add, I love that music can bring memories and help us like cement memories in our mind. And so I think that's so fun. I think what a fun idea. I totally want to use this idea for some of our family trips and different things that I'm doing in the future. So awesome. Love it. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just glad it beamed into my brain. And that's sometimes how I roll, both with that idea and with this idea of us recording. That ideas come into my brain at inopportune moments where I'm like, but it's like the time to be doing and whatever. But I'm learning that that is the opportune moment for me. Because for whatever reason, that's when creativity starts to flow. So I'm going to celebrate that I am celebrating that about myself too.
Awesome. I think this is great. Thanks for sharing. This is awesome.
Okay. Awesome. See you tomorrow. Hey, everybody. We are coming to you for Friday, November 21st for some celebrations and gratitudes. But the day got away from mostly me as I was traveling to get to the race for my son. And so we are recording the day after Friday, but we're still going to share what we had for yesterday. I'll go first today. So first of all, I wanted to celebrate that I made a plan for the whole day yesterday. The boys wanted to run in Flagstaff, Arizona. They wanted to go to the temple in Mesa, Arizona. They wanted to come and do the walkthrough at the race venue in Mesa as well. And so because we were driving from Page, we just had this like packed day and we really had to make our time like work exactly. And so it all worked out. We were able to get to the temple for the boys. We were able to have them run in Flagstaff and all the things. So that was awesome. Thanks. So celebrating that. And also grateful these boys that I am taking to this race, they're just great. They've been helpful with unloading and loading. And I shouldn't even say helpful. They're just realizing this is for them. And so they're taking charge of some things. We prepped dinner the night before in the hotel room and they jumped in and did that. They've been fantastic. And then several things I'm grateful for. Number one, teenage boys bring a lot of playfulness to whatever you do. So we stopped in Page for them to run. They saw a huge puddle. They jumped out, they started skipping rocks. And then I'm going to celebrate that I started skipping rocks with them. And it was super fun.
Yay.
And then at the hotel, they were so excited to get the cart for all of our luggage. And then when they went to bring it back, I'm like, oh, I want to get a picture. So I went down the hall to get a picture of them. And they had seriously like all loaded themselves on the cart and were like pushing it around. And some older couple just chose not to get on the elevator with my group of crazy boys, but they're just making everything fun. And then at dinner, they asked one of the other boys to like cut them a slice of the bread that we'd purchased. And so he started like getting the knife and he was like moving it along the bread like a video game. And so then they had to be like, stop right there. And then he cut the bread. So like everything was playful. And so I'm grateful for how fun and playful they're being. And it's a win for me that I'm jumping into the playfulness and I'm choosing to have fun with their goofiness. I think I had one more, but why don't you share yours? And then if I remember it, I'll share it.
Okay, sounds good. So on Thursday night, my son played in a basketball game up in Draper, and it's a couple hours away from our house. And so it is closer to both my husband's family and my family. And so we had sent out inviting family that wanted to participate and come and watch. And so I'm celebrating. We thought about inviting because sometimes we haven't at times.
Yep.
And we are in a different region now. And so I feel like there's going to be more opportunities to let our family know. So anyway, I'm celebrating.
Nice.
We let our family know. My husband, a couple days before, gave him the heads up, like, hey, it really is this night. It's going to be this time. Anyway, so I thought that was really nice of him. And then I'm grateful that we had a pretty good showing. My daughter came. She doesn't live with us at this time. She's going to college. So one of my daughters came and met us. And then I had a sister and a brother-in-law, and my husband had two brothers as well. So then everyone was there celebrating and supporting our son play basketball. So that was really fun. I was grateful to have the family support. So that was cool. Then another thing is, as we were at that game, one of my brother-in-laws tells me that one of my daughters, the one that isn't there but is going to college also, she had gone over to their house for dinner because they live in the same town. And he had said, she is the most like you. Yeah, my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law both had talked about her after. And I totally took that as a compliment because that is so fun. Yay. And I feel like a lot of times I hear like, oh, your kids look like your husband, or that is something your husband would have done, or I don't know. I feel like I hear lots about how they're like him. And so it was fun and touched my heart. So I was grateful he shared that. And then I'm celebrating that I called that daughter and wanted to tell her about that cute compliment. She didn't answer. And so I ended up Marco Poloing her that little story. And then she called me later and we talked about it some more. So it was fun to be excited and like, guess what they said? And she was super sweet about it too. And it was cute to be like, yay, we do share stuff. And like, we are similar. And she is one, I feel like all of my kids have different things that I love and appreciate about them. And I can laugh with all of them, but she's number 3. And we have spent lots of one-on-one time over the years as the
Right.
other older kids have left the house and whatever.
Yep.
And she hasn't been as involved in extracurriculars. She's done some, but not to the same extent as maybe my others. And anyway,
Yep.
so it's been fun that like, oh, we are a lot alike. And anyway, it was a cute compliment.
That is so
Okay.
fun.
Yeah. And then my last one is I went on a walk last night and I ended up inviting a friend. So impromptu, she was happy to join me. We went for a walk together. And then part of our walk, I'm like, oh, I love the smell of that laundry detergent or that fabric softener. I love smelling that on those cooler evenings or morning walks. And so I noticed that. And then I also was noticing the fire. Somebody had a fireplace burning and I could smell that. And I was after we had parted ways. And then I had also enjoyed that crisp fall air. I love that feeling and that it's just like the smell almost of the cool air and then the feel of it as well. So celebrating, I went out for a walk and also invited a friend impromptu and grateful she joined in, and then the different smells and feelings that came from that walk.
Awesome. I love that. I remembered another one to share. We're all staying with my aunt who lives in Mesa. And so I'm celebrating that I reached out to her and talked to her about the fact that we'd be here. And then she offered, she's like, well, do you want to just stay here? And I thought, yeah, are you sure with all these boys that I'm bringing down? She's like, yep, that would be great. And she got our dinner started yesterday. I did a Walmart order, so I'm celebrating that for all of our dinner stuff. And then she
Nice.
was like, well, I'll go pick that up for you, which was fantastic because we were later than we expected. And then I had a couple cousins who also came to visit, and we've had such a fun conversation yesterday. So grateful for cousins who wanted to come visit, and grateful for my aunt who got dinner started, even though we hadn't touched base like we had hoped to. And everything went smoothly. Grateful that she opened her home and kind of made all that a fun, homey experience. I think that's
Awesome.
great.
Yeah, so fun.
All right. We'll see you all next time. Hey, Lorna.
Hi.
All right, everybody. We're on Saturday morning, and I am at the race venue for my one son who is racing at a regional cross-country race. And so we're going to dive in on Saturday, November 22nd, and tell you our celebration. So, Lorna, what have you got for us?
I ended up waking up in the middle of the night and couldn't go back to sleep. And so I am grateful that there's clean hallmarks. After I tossed and turned for at least a half an hour, I got out of bed and came and laid on the couch and watched half of a show, and then I was able to fall back asleep. But
Oh, good.
so I'm grateful for that. And I am celebrating the fact that I just got up. Like, yep, I'll be able to go back to sleep when I can. And it was just fine. It wasn't like a frustration of why am I not sleeping? I want to be sleeping. So anyway, I'm celebrating that I was easygoing with what ended up happening in the middle of the night.
Good. Good job. That is awesome.
Right.
So I am celebrating that I rolled with the parking situation here. It was crazy, and I actually worked on figuring it out last night, I thought, but then the lot I found was full. And so anyway, I ended up having to walk 15 minutes to the venue after I dropped all the kids off, which is fine. And that brings me to a gratitude. As I was walking, I thought, I am so grateful that I don't have problems walking. I have strong legs, I have strong lungs, I have a strong heart, all of those things. So, and I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful for the energy. I'm going to show you guys the line for the bathroom at this race because it's super funny to me. So this right here is the line to the porta potties, and it keeps going back there.
That is long. Wow.
Yeah, that is just the nature. And I swear there's like, I don't know, 20 or more bathrooms that they're all going in. It's not like they're waiting for one, but it's just fun. I think the energy of this many people is super fun, and I am grateful to be here. So that's another gratitude.
Super cool.
All right, you guys, we'll see you again tomorrow.
Hi. So today is Sunday, November 3rd. And Amy, tell us where you are.
I am out of Maverick. We just got gas, but it's our final stop, and then we'll get home and be done. So with our trip.
Awesome. Okay. All right, Amy, tell us what you're celebrating today and what you're grateful for.
I am celebrating that I reached out to several people in the Mesa, Arizona area. And one of them I reached out to is a friend that I knew when I lived in Germany back in 9th grade. and she was able to come to the course. So I'm really grateful that she took time out of her day and she came to the course and she visited with me. She's lived in Germany up until about 4 or 5 months ago when she and her family moved to Mesa. It was so fun to see her again. I got to meet a few of her kids, and that was awesome. So I'm celebrating that I reached out to people, and my aunt actually came to the race as well, and so she visited with me for a bit, and I'm thrilled with all the people I got to touch base with down there, and I'm grateful for their willingness to come see me. And then I would also share, a couple years ago, we had a family reunion down there, and my one cousin gave all of us some guacamole seasoning. Well, we have loved it, and we're all out, and you can only get this particular brand down there at a very particular place. And so I had asked her if she'd get me some. And when I saw her, I asked her, and she's like, "Oh my word, I totally forgot." But then she's like, "You know what? I will grab it. And then on your way out of town, if you meet me here, it's only 10 minutes away from my house. It's not as far off the freeway for you." And so I'm celebrating that I reached out and asked her about it. And I'm super grateful that she was willing to grab it for me. And anyway, then we met up there, and I have some more guacamole seasoning to bring home to my kids. And my 12-year-old has been loving to make guacamole, so he's going to be super excited.
Yay! That is
Yeah.
so fun. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So, yep. What about you?
So today I am grateful for good friends. One of my daughters who's serving a mission, one of her besties came home and spoke about her mission today. And so I drove over, it was like 20 minutes from our town. I drove over with a friend, and then we were there and listened to her speak, and it was such a great meeting. The whole meeting was so great. And then we stayed after and helped get food ready and whatever, and had a little lunch. And it was all of the friends, like the friends of my daughter who I love and adore, and then my own friends that are there, the adult friends that I'm interacting with, some I don't see very often, and just had some fun conversations with. And the value of friendships and even the longevity sometimes of what those friendships look like. And it was so fun. I'm so grateful for that. And I guess I can celebrate that I did go and that I did help out. I made some treats to support as well. But I'm super grateful for the people. I feel like on Sundays, a lot of times are a time when I like fill up my friend bucket or my social bucket, because my social is a lot more one-on-one at this point.
Right.
And so anyway, I have loved that and just relished in that, the meeting and the music and all of that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yay.
Hi, you guys. Today is Monday, November 24th, and we are out exercising. This is a typical Monday morning for us. We're exercising, but we're on Zoom to record with you guys. All right, Amy, let's hear your things.
Well, I'm celebrating today that I got out here because it is cold and I've been gone all this time, or it's last Thursday or whatever. Kind of tired. I really want to curl up in a warm blanket. I'm celebrating I got out here in the cold. And it's been warm. It's been so warm this year that it's kind of a shock today.
We're seeing our breath.
I know. Yes. And then that just makes me think I'm grateful for the habit that we've established, that we get out and we do it, because I always feel better. I always feel better after I move. So I guess I would also celebrate that we set this up years ago and we kind of made it our default position that we touch base and get out. And then I'm also thankful for base layers of different weights. Wearing my heavy base layer today, and it makes a difference. Thankful for hats and gloves and coats and scarves and all the things. And also thankful for crisp morning air, because it is kind of refreshing and invigorating, even as it's freezing my fingertips off. So
Yeah, indeed.
that is top of mind this morning. Seriously had some other thoughts about things until I got outside in the freezing. And now that's all I'm thinking about.
And I'm grateful for you sharing about base layers. I feel like you have talked about the idea that, well, even all the layers. And I used to have a jacket that was loud when I would run, and it just was loud. And as we had talked over the years, you've talked about different ones and whatever. And I didn't have to always use, I realized, oh, I'm sure there's other ones out there that would be really great. Anyway, I ended up getting this one as a gift, and I have loved it because it is thinner and it's not loud. So I've been so grateful for that. So I guess I have a few things I'm grateful for today, Amy.
Okay, but I have to cascade off of you then.
Okay.
Because I'm grateful that I learned a lot of that stuff because Nels likes to do outdoor stuff like ice climbing. And ice climbing is a very freezing winter activity. And I went to some different things with him and other
friends and couples and stuff, and they all seemed fine, and I was freezing. And that is when I first realized the kind of clothes you have, the kind of outdoor weather or gear you have, totally affects how much you can enjoy something. And so over time, I've discovered this. And so, yes, I tend to be a little bit of like I don't know what the word is, but an advocate for people who are out doing stuff. Be like, okay, if you're freezing when we're doing this, there are other options. Or if you have a lab coat, because I remember being like, how am I such a wimp that I am so cold and they're all fine? And then I realized I'm cold. So grateful that I learned from other people. Okay, what were your other ones though?
Awesome. Well, my other one is I am grateful that my son went on a walk for me last night. So yesterday was Sunday and it was dark and cold.
Yeah.
I asked if he'd go, and anyway, a little bit of coercion, I think, but he did go with me, and it was just so great. I think there's conversations you have when you're walking that you don't have just sitting around, and so
Yes.
that was super fun. I was glad to have some of that time with him one-on-one. And then I'm also grateful for P-Day. I've been able to talk to my missionary in Brazil, and it's so fun. I do try and keep my Monday mornings pretty open, so I'm available for her. There's a 4-hour time change. And anyway, so even I guess that's what I could celebrate is keeping my morning open for her. And then also I wanted to set my alarm a little bit later and I chose to do it a little bit earlier. So I knew I'd have some good few minutes with her before you and I got out this morning.
Yep.
And so I'm celebrating that too. Good job, me. I did sacrifice a little bit of sleep so I could talk to her, and I'm so glad I did.
Awesome. And back with your son walking. I don't remember now. Did you celebrate that you asked him? Or did you only say you were grateful he went?
I said I was grateful. I can celebrate I asked him.
Yeah.
I could actually also improve a little bit more on the way I asked him. And if he responds with a no, be okay with a no. So
yes.
There's more of the whole truth.
Of course. But aren't there times? I mean, I'm there too. Sometimes I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll go do whatever. But other times I do the same thing. And it's not coercion, it's convincing.
Cute. All right. We are done for today.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
We have made it, Lorna, to day 5 or 6 or whatever, however many days we decided we were going to make it. Today is Tuesday, November 25th. We're 2 days away from Thanksgiving, and we're recording our final gratitude celebration thing in our series. So I'm excited to hear about what you've got for us today, Lorna. What are you celebrating?
Okay. I had said yesterday, I think with exercising that I typically keep my Monday mornings open so I can talk to my missionary daughter. So I did intentionally keep some things to work on when I was talking to her because it's mindless things. Specifically, it was laundry. I wanted to get some laundry going. And so I intentionally waited until I was talking to her so I could get that done while we chat. So I just am celebrating the fact that I used my time wisely in a different way. So the things that I couldn't be doing while I was talking to her, I did spend time doing. And then I'm so grateful for a washer and a dryer. Those things make life so much easier. And even the things that I line dry, I'm grateful for this line dry rack that I use. It makes life so much easier. I can pull the things out of my closet and I don't have to think about it. And it is fun. I have kind of a routine typically on Monday evenings after dinner, a little bit later in the evening, my son and I, and sometimes my husband, if he wants to stay up that late, watch an episode of something while I am folding clothes. So it's just to have kind of those things in place, but I am grateful for the washer and dryer.
Yay. Good job. As far as like the washer and dryer, it's interesting. I was talking to someone recently who had a child go on a mission to Africa and also a child go to Texas. And they were having a conversation, and the person who had gone to Texas was saying something about laundry, referring to the fact that they maybe had like laundry facilities in their apartment. And the older child was like, wait a minute, what? You had what? Because the older child had to wash laundry himself in a sink. And it was like mind blowing to him to be like, you seriously just did your laundry?
Yes.
How is that even fair? So funny how we take a minute to think about little things, how convenient they are and how much easier they make our lives. It's really nice.
Yeah. Well, and I think sometimes we don't even know what to appreciate until it's different. And so that boy didn't even know that it was different probably when he went on the mission. And then to see like, oh, different missions have it different ways? How is that even a thing? So anyway, just so interesting that even as we're trying to be grateful, I think sometimes we can still overlook things just because we don't know there's another way to look at it. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. It's totally true. I am celebrating a couple of things. One thing I'm celebrating is that yesterday I decided to take it slow in a lot of different ways because I was exhausted, and I don't know like if I was tired from being gone all weekend or if because I had been sick before I went out of town, if I just was having residual fatigue. And yesterday I didn't have to push myself, and so I didn't. But I am celebrating that I took that in stride and dealt with it because I had grand plans for yesterday that did not pan out because of my fatigue. And then I'm grateful because my husband walked in the door after work last night and he had brought me flowers just because for no reason. So that was super fun
Sweet.
that he did that. That's my celebration and my gratitude today.
Okay, well, so yesterday I realized on Sunday, I lost two things. I rarely lose things, and I totally lost two things. I left my sunglasses at the church when I had gone to listen to my daughter's friends.
Mhm. Yes.
So they had fallen out of my purse. I had kind of put the arm of my sunglasses over the edge of my bag. And by the time I got into the car, they must have fallen out. Just how my bag was sitting, they must have just dropped somewhere. Anyway, so I lost those. And I lost my favorite pink pen. You totally know what I'm talking about. And
I do.
So I did end up reaching out to the mom of the friend and asking if she saw any sunglasses. And she said, yes, she did. Anyway, so I am so grateful. There's another friend in that town. He has a key to the church. He totally grabbed the sunglasses for me. I think he dropped them off. I just haven't gotten them yet.
Yeah.
So grateful for that. And then the other thing, so my favorite pink pen, I had gone to choir after that sacrament meeting. And I realized after I had left that I had probably put it over where I was practicing my flute. I'm playing my flute with a musical number for Christmas, and the pianist and I were working on it after. And I remember grabbing my pen and putting it over by the piano because I wanted to make some notes on my music.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I get home then too, and I'm like, oh, no, I love my pink pen. Amy, you know how much I love my pink pen.
I do.
I'm celebrating. It wasn't as devastating as it could have been because I have lost it one other time with you. I left it at home. I didn't lose it, but I left it at home. And so that has helped me like settle with it's totally fine. I don't have my pen. And the reason I love my pen is there's a pencil feature and then 4 different colors. So it's like a 5-in-1 pen. Okay, the end of the story was at the seminary building. That's where we have choir practice. I contacted the seminary teacher yesterday. He totally got it for me. He found it and I was able to pick it up at the building yesterday. So super grateful that he was willing to go track this down for me, set it out for me so I could grab it. And maybe I'm even needing to celebrate the fact that I have it. I'm so grateful for it. And because of my conversation with my family, my son and my husband yesterday or Sunday about my pen, my husband was like, maybe it's time you buy a new pen so that you have a backup. So I totally got on and bought a backup. So I have another light pink pen coming in the mail.
He's like, this is an option. You love the pen enough. Yeah. Well, and also just something that's interesting. I don't know that either you or I ever thought we'd have a favorite pen that we would be calling around to have people find for us. But my guess is that even with a backup, you would be calling to find that pen. Because now you're going to want like, no, I want my pen and my backup pen. Like I want both. And so like, you know, the hazard of finding a favorite anything is that it does mean we can lose it. But also, would we give up having the favorite thing just because we know it could be lost? No. And so that's just kind of a fun little lesson in relation to your pen, that it doesn't make it so you don't want to have your favorite pen. Right.
Totally.
You still want to have that feeling and love the pen, but it does probably make you more grateful for your pen.
Yes, it does. It totally does. It's true.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, that's
for
awesome. Yeah. That's so fun. I also just wanted to call out, I don't think you've even mentioned that you're playing the flute for any musical number in any of our conversations until today. So I think that is a fantastic celebration. Not everyone who plays a musical instrument in their growing up years plays it ever again later. And I don't know how prepared you are to play that flute. You know, like maybe it's like, wow, I'm like a middle school student again or whatever. But that's like a huge celebration. That's a big deal.
Thank you. And it really has been a challenge. I played a couple times in sacrament meeting over the last 10-ish years, like maybe 3 times. So I played it a couple times, but our choir director did ask me to play this particular song. He gave me the music. He gave it to me like 2 months ago. And I am so glad he did because it is a really hard song. It will be really beautiful.
Yeah.
is definitely taking work, and it's notes I haven't ever played. Some of the notes are notes I've never played. The high, and anyway, it's definitely stretching me. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the opportunity. Thank you for reminding me. I definitely want to be celebrating that
Yeah.
I am making effort and I am progressing.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool. That's really exciting. I will celebrate one other thing today. My one son started jazz band a couple weeks ago. And so that means it's before school at 7 a.m. So that means we either carpool or I take him. And with this son, I've been choosing to take him. I'm celebrating that I'm enjoying taking him, that I made the decision intentionally that we were going to have that time together in the car. And it's fun because we just get to touch base. He reads a little something to me on our drive. And then I also realized recently that I'm not listening to music as often, and music just does something for me as far as changing my mood and everything. And so I've paired listening to music with when I'm driving back home by myself. I don't use that time for a podcast or for whatever else. I just turn on the music that is upbeat and fun for me to do that. And so I'm celebrating that I'm choosing to pair that, and that I'm just grateful that we have this time, because I know that it goes away. And I'm grateful that whenever I made the playlist that is those fun songs that I can put on and they change my energy. So
awesome.
those are a
I
couple
love it.
more things.
So good. I think those are such great things. Good ideas. Thanks for sharing.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. I think that's our several days of trying to get on every day and share some celebrations and gratitude. And it's been fun and also kind of tricky to make it happen. But it's been fun to share that with you, Lorna, and then with all of you who are listening.
Yeah, thanks so much. And really now you go out and notice all the things you can be grateful for and all the things you can be celebrating. Because there's lots out there. There's lots of simple things, but there's lots out there.
Well, and I think that's been the thing, at least for me. Even when we'd get on to record, I'm like, I was thinking of stuff all day yesterday that I'm like, oh, I could say this and oh, I could say that. And so it really just made me pay more attention to all the things that I could celebrate and all the things that I was grateful for. And it was almost effortless because I knew we were going to be recording something. And so I didn't even share half the things that came to mind, but the feeling was different as I was looking for things to celebrate and things to be grateful for. So really a fun boost. And for both of us, I think it made it more fun that we had someone that we were going to touch base with and share it with. That somehow feels different than just writing in a notebook, which obviously we can also do. Yeah. But it was fun to have that.
Yeah, totally. And I am doing lots of writing or pondering on my own, but it does add another element of fun to share it.
Yep.
Thanks for coming to Meeting of the Moms. We hope it made your load a little lighter. We'd love to hear what's on your mind. Send your celebrations, takeaways, and suggestions for future topics to momswithamyandlorna@gmail.com.
If you enjoyed the show, please like, share, and subscribe. If this isn't the right fit for you, we wish you well on your journey. Until next time, I'm Lorna Adams.
And I'm Amy Rasmussen. See you next week at Moms.